I'm David Skander.
I'm Justice Burkett.
And today we're here to find out, is The Lair the greatest movie ever made?
Major?
I was at for voluntary discharge.
Welcome to the greatest movie ever made, the show where we watch a movie and tell you if it's the greatest movie ever made.
Yep.
This definitely ain't one of those. Movie that is so thoroughly entertaining or compelling that while you're watching it, it's the only thing that matters in the world.
David,
in the case of this one, you could sort of just
Big ol'
throw this on and clean the house. You know what I was thinking?
Yeah.
While watching this.
What were you thinking while watching The Lair?
Um,
Presumably a lot of things, because this isn't a movie that like tries really hard to hold your attention, I would say. It does kind of have room for your mind to wander.
Yeah, it leaves room for you to find other distractions.
Yeah.
If I ever have the misfortune of dating a woman who falls asleep by watching movies at full blast on the TV,
Yeah.
perfect movie for that.
Yeah.
Just, all right, I want to go to bed. I don't know. There's this thing called The Lair. All right, I'll put this on until I fall asleep.
Yeah. This is, yeah. It is funny because as loud as this movie is, as loud, like as much of an assault on the senses as this movie is at times, it sort of is an assault on the senses in the most like middle of the road, inoffensive, kind of bland way possible, where I'm like, yeah, even though like people are screaming and like their heads are getting ripped off and shit, you're kind of just like, yeah, I could fall asleep to this. Like, I could have this on the background.
You could miss vast stretches of this movie.
Yeah. Great
And
movie to
then-
watch on a plane. If you're ever on a plane and you don't know what to watch The Lair.
Well, yeah, especially because this is. I'm David Skander, joined as always by my co-host Justice Burkett.
Yeah.
This is Neil Marshall entering his Paul W.S. Anderson mode.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Paul W.S. Anderson movies are like designed to be watched on planes.
Right, classic plane movies.
I
Classic plane fare.
watched Paul W.S. Anderson's Monster Hunter on my phone on a plane.
Yeah, I imagine
Excellent
that's
viewing experience.
Yeah, I think that's the best way you can watch that movie, probably. I haven't seen Monster Hunter, but I'm just assuming that the optimal viewing experience is on a screen no larger than like fucking 5x6 or whatever. Yeah. Neil Marshall, welcome back to the show. Yeah, a director that a director whose movies you and I have both historically been fans of.
Yes.
Entering his Paul W.S. Anderson phase in multiple ways. In one regard, this is sort of like an action horror movie that is very much in like the Paul W.S. Anderson oeuvre. Neil Marshall is no stranger to that territory either, but this does kind of feel a step in the like badasses with guns direction that a lot of his earlier fare doesn't quite fit into. And then also, like, the big thing is, like, he got a hot wife, and now he's putting her in all of his movies. Which is a thing that the first time I watched this movie, I didn't know. So this is new knowledge to me now that he is in a relationship with this actress. Still, I think, to this day, as far as I know, they are still together. The actress's name is Charlotte Kirk, which immediately struck me as funny, just because the whole movie I was thinking, Charlotte Kirky. Charlotte Kirky.
I would be mad at you if I wasn't thinking the same thing.
It's
the whole time.
impossible. It's impossible.
When her name
not to.
popped up on the credit in the fucking John Carpenter font
Yeah,
credits.
it's like force femmed Charlie
I
Kirk.
was- We are Charlotte Kirk. Yes, Charlotte Kirk,
yes.
who I'm sure is a lovely woman.
Yeah.
But I was watching this movie and looking at her credits and like, oh, Neil Marshall has cast her in his last 4 movies.
Yes.
So they're definitely together.
Yes.
But her character's name is Sinclair.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie, I was just referring to her in my head as tits.
Sure. The movie does sort of
I was
encourage.
just like,
The movie sort of encourages that in a lot of ways. She's in a lot of tight tank tops. She's the only woman, you know.
I know there's another woman, but
You're right. You're
yeah,
right. You're
there's
right.
Lafayette.
Yes, Lafayette. You're right. I forgot that there is another lady on the squad.
However,
Yeah.
she is running around in that tank top the whole movie.
Yep.
And
yeah, and Neil Marshall is clearly very physically attracted to this woman who he is in a long-term relationship with, and he is shooting her body lovingly throughout.
Mm-hmm.
Ergo, tits. Right?
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense. A lot of the guys in this movie, I was also just using kind of placeholder names because none of the character names matter. Much like Centurion, it's like I don't know what any of these guys' names are, and it doesn't matter. But the one guy was just Eye Patch to me the whole time, where I was like, oh yeah, that guy's Eye Patch.
I got a lot of names from this movie. Surprisingly, that's Finch.
Yeah,
and I remember that because I was like, I need to look that actor up because I will bet my life that man is British.
Yeah,
because this is the worst American accent I've ever heard.
A truly inscrutable American accent. Like a lot of British actors, good British actors who are very accomplished when attempting an American accent will like get close but miss a little bit, and that's how you get like the Hugh Laurie House thing where it's like he's just enunciating a little too much.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I think this one might not be lupus. And it's like, no, Americans are more mushmouth than that. Like to get it real, you got to be more relaxed with it. And what this guy is doing,
he finds this drawl.
Yeah.
This southern, Texas whatever kind of drawl.
Yeah.
And almost goes for the over enunciating things, but then every
man.
Every 10 or so words.
Yeah.
He just throws up a fucking dud.
That's the thing. Like, as opposed to the good actor bad American accent, like a Hugh Laurie thing, this dude has no idea what planet he's on. like he's like, I'm a Southern man, but also sometimes I'm from Pittsburgh. and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And also, like, his accent is not even the most insane one in the movie to me. Because the guy who is playing the Welsh SAS guy,
yeah,
that guy, I looked up that actor too, because I was like, his accent sounds fucking crazy. Like, no human being has ever sounded like this. And I looked it up, and the actor's from Cornwall in England, so he's not Welsh. But his last name sounds kind of Welsh, and so my brain is melting because I'm like, does this guy who sounds the weirdest I've ever heard anyone speak sound this way because he's doing a good Welsh accent or because he's doing a bad Welsh accent?
Yeah, well,
I don't know the difference.
I don't know the Welsh accent very well. And
nobody knows the Welsh accent. It doesn't exist. I think it's made up.
Almost every Welsh actor that I can think of, I know them for doing American accents.
Right.
And like doing pretty good American accents.
But this guy, like, I can't even replicate it. It's just the sounds that this dude is making don't make any sense. like he walks into the movie and he's like, hey, and like I'm just like, what the fuck? It sounds kind of Scottish, but it sounds Scottish in like a fucked up way.
It's sort of just like every accent from the Isles just had a gangbang.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
I kind of think that's what's happening in Wales, is just like, it's just the detritus of everybody else in the British Isles just kind of ends up there. And they just live in the mud and fucking talk insane.
They just end up in Llanfair, whatever.
Right. Yeah, they have like fucking
the
Gobbledy-Florp or whatever the fuck is going on.
56-letter town.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
that
boy.
dude sounds so crazy.
Hey, no one's going to listen to this episode. We're off to a great start.
That is not true. At least
I think
our most dedicated core listeners will be tuning in.
I think we are.
There are like 20 people who will listen to anything we put out.
There are 3 people on planet Earth who have watched Neil Marshall's The Lair.
And I'm maybe the only person in the history of the world who has seen it twice.
That's us and Neil Marshall. I don't think Neil Marshall watched this twice.
No,
I think this was
not.
a one and done in the editing room, and then they just pooped it out onto Shudder.
Yeah, him and Charlotte Kirk put it on in the bedroom one night and fell asleep to it. And then you and I watched it, and I've seen it twice for some reason.
You've seen it twice for some reason.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. I did just see you a few days ago, but you did have a busy, eventful weekend.
Yeah.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's been busy. lots going on at the theater that I manage, and we're also like, it's only April, but we are very much in the gearing up period for the summer Shakespeare Festival that I work for, which is our busy time of year. So yeah, like things have been busy. I am overall feeling good. I have had like I don't know, like a weird few days. But ultimately like kind of landed in a good place at the beginning of this week and feeling good. I don't know if I have anything. Oh, I actually do have a couple things that I wanted to shout out. Both of them are just like old albums. I have a couple albums from the 70s to recommend. Was it you, David, who told me that I should listen to Television? I think it was you. Yeah. So I took that recommendation because you were like, I think you would like Television based on what you know of my music taste. And I do, especially because I did not realize that the vocalist of Television sounds just like Gordon Gano from Violent Femmes. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, similar voice. Yeah.
A Gordon Gano sounding motherfucker.
Tom Verlaine's got a similar voice, I guess.
Yeah. So I listened to Marquee Moon. Obviously, like that's a very like highly acclaimed album, but it was
that's the only one that I've listened to in full.
Yeah, it was my first time with it. I spun it a few times, and I was like, yeah, David was right. I really like Television, and I'm going to listen to more Television. And then the other one is, that kind of got me in a post-punk mood because Television has some post-punk stuff going on. And I love Joy Division and like New Order and stuff. And so I was like, okay, the biggest post-punk band that I haven't done a deep dive on, it feels like, is Susie and the Banshees.
Okay.
I've listened to the hits, but I haven't really like dove into the catalog. And so I listened to like 4 Susie and the Banshees albums in the last few days. And Juju, like their most popular release, is like really, really good. But the one that I want to recommend, because like I feel like maybe less people have listened to it, is I think it's maybe their first album, called The Scream from 1978. Really solid album. The only like downside of that album, I think, is that there is like a Helter Skelter cover right in the middle of it, and it's like Beatles covers, whatever, but it's also like a good cover, so I'm not even mad about it. And I think it's great, and I think Susie Sue is like such a like charismatic presence on their records, which is obviously like what made the band blow up. Is like a lot of it is attributable to like how magnetic she is, even just hearing her. And then like I've also been like watching some like old concert videos and new concert videos. She's in her 60s, by the way, and she still looks great. So yeah, Susie and the Banshees and Television, 2 albums from the 70s for you to listen to: Marquee Moon and The Scream. David, how are you doing?
I'm good. Still doing that thing where like days off are kind of weird. Where like I'll just like wake up and maybe go back to sleep and then wake up and decide what I'm going to do and spend a lot of time. I was going to go to the movies last night, and then I just sort of just sat around.
Yeah.
And then like today I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
And I feel good. And so yeah. Things are getting busy. I've also just been like ignoring some life things that I should have. I like had some motivation a few weeks ago. I think I said to work on getting some things in my life organized and figured out.
Yeah.
And then that sort of burned out pretty quickly.
Yep.
And now I'm just back to like, well,
fuck it.
I'm just going to keep putting this off.
Yep.
And I'll be fine.
Yep.
We're all just dust anyway.
Isn't that just the motivation killer, is just being reminded of the impermanence of life and the universe? And
yeah.
It's like, why the fuck would I make
my
Do
I really need to pay this bill?
Eventually, the universe is going to experience heat death.
You know?
and all the particles are going to stop moving. So why do I need to pay this?
Right. As far as recommendations, I've been getting into some old stuff too.
Yeah.
I made this playlist called Shower Beer.
Fuck yeah.
That's a bunch of grunge and like hard rock and alt rock.
Nice.
And it was intended to be listened to while having a beer in the shower.
Yeah, we got some like Alice in Chains on there.
We have Alice in
What are we
Chains.
talking? Yeah.
We have Audioslave.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And I've never really got into Audioslave.
Yeah, me neither. I basically just know like the radio hits.
Yeah, so I put some of those on there, and that got me in the mood to listen to actual Soundgarden, which I haven't really listened to in a few years. And I threw on Super Unknown.
Yeah.
For the car drive down to rehearsal the other day, and Super Unknown, still fucking great record.
Yeah.
As someone who didn't like grunge for a while, outside of like Nirvana, specifically because of the Jarl voice, as they call it.
Yeah.
It's Scott Stapp and Chris Cornell.
Hold me
and
now.
Fucking Eddie Vedder had.
Yeah.
I can see why I got into Soundgarden when I did, specifically that record, because that record is very psychedelic.
Yep.
And also, like, half of the songs could be like doom metal songs.
Yeah,
they're so
that
fucking
album's heavy, which is really one of the things I love about it too.
They got weird tunings on there, and they're slowing things down. It's really great.
Yeah. I like Spoon Man a lot because it reminds me a little bit of like a Tool song, but it's like a Tool song that doesn't take itself seriously at all. Like I know Tool sometimes is like a little goofy.
Yeah, I mean it's maybe it's like a Tool song kind of sped up.
Yeah.
I can imagine them playing. It's like 9 minutes and it's really slow.
Yeah.
The the drum break in the middle. Yeah, that's a good comparison. I really like Mailman and 4th of July because those songs are fucking heavy as shit.
Yeah.
I almost lost my voice screaming Mailman
while delivering the mail.
No,
on the way to rehearsal.
On the way to rehearsal.
Yeah.
Because that song's so fucking good.
Yeah, it is good.
I also listened to Bad Motorfinger, which I had bought around the same time that I bought Super Unknown, but I only listened to that 1 or 2 times because it didn't connect with me that much, and it's a good record. Just haven't heard as much as Super Unknown.
Yeah.
And then also, you recommended this to me, and I did listen to this today while delivering the mail, which is the album Diluvium Cantos by the band Portal to the Goddamn Blood Dimension.
Fuck yeah.
They're the post-rock band that has like a lot of symphonic and orchestral elements, and they blend that with like screamo and kind of La Dispute style post-hardcore spoken word kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah. They played a show at the venue that I manage, and it was really cool seeing them play live because like the vocalist performs like in front of the rest of the band, and the band is like a 10-piece led by the band leader is their cellist. So he, with his back to the audience, faces the rest of the musicians and kind of conducts them and plays the cello, while the vocalist is kind of in front of all of them performing, and it's pretty impressive to watch. They're a band out of Salt Lake City, and I would recommend if you ever have the chance to see them live, I would highly recommend it because they're a great live band too.
Yeah, I missed out on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to the Lair.
Yes, we are descending the elevator shaft into the Lair.
So you've seen this movie twice.
Yeah.
And I just have to like like a mortally wounded samurai.
Uh-huh.
I have to respectfully bow to you. Because I pride myself on finding obscure, bad piece of shit movies.
Yeah.
and talking about them on this podcast.
Yeah.
And you have brought to us a movie that, like, I think from now until the heat death of the universe will be on Tubi.
This is a thing I wanted to talk about. Is like, just before this record, High Priestess Pod and I were talking about Bo Burnham's Inside, because sometimes we just like re-dissecting that piece of art that we both very much enjoyed. And a thing that I said about Inside is that it is a prime example of like the medium is the message, and that being released on streaming during the pandemic is the only way that piece of art could exist. It's the way that it hits the hardest is like when you're watching it on a streaming service in your own home while the world is locked down.
Sure.
Right? That is also extremely true of the Lair, and the medium is Tubi. I have never felt that Tubi ad breaks enhanced the experience of watching a film until watching the Lair on Tubi, where I was like, I think this movie would be worse if we didn't cut to an ad break where I got 3 of the cringiest ads I've ever seen in my whole life back to back, and then like dove back into this shit.
Right. This is like we've talked about movies that like Vinegar Syndrome or Arrow Video have picked up. This movie does not deserve to be on any physical media ever.
Yeah.
Not because like again like I respect and I love physical media.
Yeah.
And it's not that like physical media would be sullied by having the Lair on it, but
No,
it's like
this movie
the
just
Lair was tailor-made
yes.
for the Tubi experience.
Correct. Yes, it is the example of a Tubi film. It's like, it's crazy that this isn't a Tubi original movie, honestly.
Yeah. The Brutalist will be aired with a 15-minute intermission.
Yes.
The Lair will be aired on Tubi with mandatory ad breaks every 20 minutes.
Yes, yeah. yeah. Mandatory fucking, I don't even know. I was getting like travel insurance ads while watching this. It's like, you think I have enough money to take a vacation? I'm watching the Lair on Tubi. Clearly my finances are not doing great.
I've been getting so many ads for reality shows that I call pretty rich white people on a boat.
Yeah.
Fucking each other.
Right, yeah, of course.
All the varieties of that. And I'm like,
yeah.
I need to buy a gun.
Yeah.
Because we're still doing this.
Yeah.
Class war. Anyway, so you've seen this film twice.
Yeah.
Did you watch this knowing that it was a Neil Marshall film?
Yes, that's why I watched
a Neil Marshall movie.
Yes, a Neil Marshall movie, which is how it is credited at the top of the, It does not say a film by Neil Marshall. It says a Neil Marshall movie.
I also like one of the credits for one of the studios or the financiers for the film is like Rather Good Films.
Yes, rather good film production. Yeah. I thought that was funny too, because it's just like calling it shot.
Yeah.
Being like, we're gonna go ahead and put our neck out there.
Fucking okay movies productions.
This one's all right. Yeah. 3-star movies presents. Yeah. But yeah, I knew it was a Neil Marshall movie. That's why I watched this the first time I watched it, because I had seen, at the point that I watched this movie, I had seen Dog Soldiers a few times. I had seen The Descent a few times. And then I had watched Centurion with you. And then I was like, okay, I've liked every Neil Marshall movie I've watched.
Yeah.
I should watch the Lair.
Had you seen Doomsday at that point?
I think I had watched, or did I not say Doomsday? What did I, Centurion. Yeah,
we did Centurion for the show.
We did it for the show. I think I actually maybe watched this before Centurion. I don't remember. But
okay.
Yes, Doomsday is the one that I meant to say.
Okay.
So I watched Dog Soldiers, The Descent, and then Doomsday with you, and then I think this and then Centurion, but it might have been the other way around. But either way, it was like, oh, that guy who made those movies I liked, because I like Doomsday too. I was like, this guy makes movies that I like. I'm gonna watch one of his other movies. And then I watched it and I was like, well, this is the worst one I've seen. It's not as good as any of those movies I mentioned. It's even not as good as Centurion, but like, it's still Neil Marshall. There's like still, the thing about this movie is like,
it's Neil Marshall in director jail.
Right.
like Neil Marshall.
Right, because this did notably come out after he fucking really shat the bed on Hellboy, which I still have not seen.
He publicly disowned Hellboy because of the studio interference and stuff like that.
Yes. There's also, finish your thought, but there's something I want to talk about.
So what he's been doing since then is making movies with his hot wife.
Yes.
That, are really low budget and kind of basically debuting on streaming services. He hasn't made anything, like close to The Descent or Doomsday, which notably was a bomb.
Yeah.
In a while, he's been kind of toiling away, making these movies.
Yeah.
What were you going to say about Hellboy?
So it seems like this is a thing that I did not do a ton of research into. I did a cursory level scan, but I did find this very interesting, and I do think it's worth mentioning. The Hellboy debacle and his pivot to making movies starring his hot wife seem to be like more connected than you would realize, because the story behind it seems to be that some guy was in a relationship with Charlotte Kirk and was like really like some producer guy and was really gunning to get her in Hellboy. And that's how Neil Marshall met Charlotte Kirk. And like he basically, I guess, immediately fell in love with her. And then like her relationship with this producer guy ended, and they like got together, right? But he first met her when this guy was like, she should be in Hellboy. So part of his disowning Hellboy was he started really pushing for her to be in Hellboy too after he met her, because he like fell in love with her. So he was like, she has to be in this movie. And then like they like put the kibosh on it and shut it down. So I think that was part of it. But the more interesting thing is that like she's like been named in an extortion lawsuit that Charlotte Kirk has for like hooking up with this producer guy that she was with before Neil Marshall.
Yeah.
And also I think like with some other guy before that.
There was I did see that there was like a producer who like propositioned her for sex in exchange for getting her bigger roles or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same guy.
Yeah, and I don't really know what's going on with any of that. And I'm definitely not besmirching this actress at all. It's just very interesting that it seems to be like Neil Marshall seems to be in director jail because he fell in love with this actress. And it seems like the failure of Hellboy and his bad experience on Hellboy and his subsequent pivot to putting his hot girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever, in all of his movies, it seems to be not, those are not disconnected from each other.
Yeah.
It's like he tanked his career because he fell in love with a really hot woman, and she apparently, for whatever reason, was sort of like industry poison, right? And maybe not through any fault of hers. Like I'm not just trying to do any like not trying to talk shit about this actress, but it does seem like she was an unpopular person in the industry that he just like fell head over heels for, and like that is sort of why his career has taken the trajectory that it has.
I get it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, right? Who wouldn't throw it away on a baddie? You know, like
British redhead with a rack like that. Fucking sign me up.
Yeah.
Also, they have co-written
yes, and co-produced
every one of these films. So
Yes.
like he is making these movies with a certain level of passion. He is
Yes.
not just getting like a script that shows up at his house and
No.
he scrapes together money to make a piece of shit. Like
No,
he's still trying to make the type of movies that he was able to make with slightly larger budgets in the past.
And that's sort of a thing that I appreciate about the Lair, and I am actually interested in watching more of his late career movies that he has made with Charlotte Kirk.
I've been interested in it, but I've also been terrified.
Yeah. I'm sort of interested, though, because I think the thing about this movie is you can kind of feel that there is passion behind it and not just cynicism.
Yeah.
Watching this movie is, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, bad.
Yeah.
It's not good. And yet, like, I would rather watch this bad movie than so many other bad movies that exist, because this one feels like it's a bad movie made by a guy who was trying to make something badass and cool and awesome. And it, like, there's just shit that straight up doesn't work in it. But it's like, you can tell that you can kind of tell that he thinks this movie rocks. You can kind of tell that the director thinks the movie owns. You know? And it's like, even when the movie doesn't own, it's kind of like a kid coming up to you and showing you something that he's really proud of that kind of looks like shit, and you have to just be like, I admire your passion, buddy.
Yeah, watching this movie, I was unsure if it's like if we have just watched too many bad movies for this to affect me.
Right?
Where I was like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
This is fine. This is like, if someone who hasn't seen the kind of shit that you and I have watched this, if a fucking normie threw on the Lair, would they be able to make it through it? Because
Yeah.
This is there are so many very obvious, in your face, just flaws with this film.
Yeah.
And I'm still just like, yeah, I mean, I watched M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit the other night, and I'll be damned if this isn't better than The Visit.
Oh, damn. All right.
You know, I'll be like, I would rather watch The Lair than a few other movies. It's like, it's bad, but it's trying, but it's also not trying.
Yeah.
But a couple other things, like I have a lot of affection for bad movies and low budget movies.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way about bad movies and low budget movies made these days.
Yeah.
Because when you have a low budget movie from the 80s, you have Chud, which has these like this beautiful cinematography of like late night New York City.
Right. And like Chud is like one of the most boring horror movies you could possibly ever watch.
And like goofy.
And yet while you're bored, you're also just like, damn, the New York in the 80s really looked like shit.
It's goofy, over the top performances.
Yeah.
Cheap looking practical effects.
Right. Like a bunch of people who look like they should be in a porno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it all
Which
manages...
to be fair is not true of this movie.
Oh yeah. It all kind of comes together to be something charming.
Yeah.
But I feel like with modern low budget filmmaking, you just get really bland digital photography.
Yep.
Bad CGI.
Yeah.
And performances and dialogue and writing that is just actually bad and doesn't have any kind of charm to it or irony.
Right. It's just like lowest possible, like bottom of the barrel shit.
Yeah. And Neil Marshall, the man that he is, finds a way in this movie to kind of thread that needle and toe both sides of the line, because you can tell this man loves movies.
Yes.
Even in this one, but it's also not immune to the shortcomings of modern low budget direct to Tubi, direct to streaming cinema.
Yeah, this is sort of the magic of Neil Marshall. This is why he as a director is kind of so fascinating to me, and why I still, even after seeing The Lair, am like interested in his other movies that I know by reputation to be potentially even worse than this one. I'm like, he is the guy who is like making modern B-movie trash in a way where like I want to watch it. Like you were just saying. And like I even think he takes some of the bad shit about modern B-movies that makes them inferior to like stuff from the 80s and actually kind of like turns it around and makes it a strength. Like the CGI like muzzle flashes and like the shitty CGI like squibs and shit in this movie, there are points where I'm just like, oh, that looked like shit in just the regular bad low budget modern movie way. And then there are moments where I'm like, I'm kind of charmed by that CGI muzzle flash. Like it looks bad, but it kind of looks bad in a way where I'm like, this reminds me of like bad looking practical effects from like an 80s movie. Like even just in Blind Fury, like when that guy gets his hand cut off and you can see like the like hand that looks like they bought it from a Halloween store, you know? It's like the CGI muzzle flashes in this movie to me kind of feel like that prop hand where I'm just like, this is so cheap and so shitty. It kind of becomes adorable. And I kind of am rooting for the movie because of how like bad and cheap this looks.
And I think that's a great thing that you brought up, because I was feeling that this whole movie where it was like, okay, it's kind of sucks that we get these CGI blood squibs and these CGI muzzle flashes. And then on the other hand, like the gun sounds in this movie are like huge. They're like beefy and chunky and like probably not realistic, but like it sounds like, like a Call of Duty game.
Yes.
And that kind of makes it fun.
Yeah. By the way, oh boy, has this movie played Call of Duty games. This movie, the script, the dialogue especially, I'm like, if you made like a space alien play all of the Call of Duty
Yes.
games and then told them to write a screenplay for a movie based on no other knowledge of humanity
Yes.
other than Call of Duty games. This is the script they would write.
You know, like Neil Marshall, dialogue is not a strong suit.
No, it never has been, and also I don't think collaborating with Charlotte Kirk on the script has helped.
Yeah, because they spent half the time when they should have been
Right.
writing just
They were fucking
each other's brains out.
Yeah. as they should. To be clear, really happy for him.
Yeah.
Really happy for both.
I'm happy that a guy who looks like a high school gym teacher.
Who just looks like a yeah. I was gonna say who looks like a hairy frog, but
Oh, come on. He's a good looking man, but you know,
he has a very circular head.
Sure, he's
He does look a little bit like, you know, the cartoon boy David from those books where it was like David No, like he's like knocking over the fishbowl.
Yes.
He looks like a grown up version of David where his head is just like a circle.
Yeah. I'm glad that he can, you know, bag a woman as hot as Charlotte Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, him and Mike Flanagan. I need to know what
Flanagan. Okay, so
those guys, both of these guys have like made some kind of pact with like an ancient Mesopotamian deity or something, because both of those guys look like toads. No offense, Mike Flanagan. I am such a huge fan.
Yeah.
But then both of them have like supermodel wives. Yeah.
Yeah. What was I saying? Dialogue is not his strong suit. And like being British, you know, his first 3 movies are very British.
Yeah.
You know, British actors, a lot of British slang. Watching this movie, I was like, Neil Marshall, I'm not British. I don't think this is how British people talk.
No, it seems like he's making up fake bullshit.
I think he is inventing British slang in this movie.
It's also funny the way the Americans talk in this movie.
Yeah.
There is a line that made me feel like I was like losing my mind, which is like one of the American soldiers says it'll be a piece of pie. And then Charlotte Kirk's character corrects him and goes, cake, piece of cake. And I'm like, does Neil Marshall think that Americans don't know the phrase piece of cake?
Right.
Like,
does
he think we don't say that?
There's other phrases in this movie that like I can't even remember because they're so dumb. They're so like they're completely nonsensical, and he tries to rule of 3 them and bring them back and make them pay off.
Yeah.
And all of them just kind of land with a thud.
Yes.
Because I'm like, this is not how people talk. This is not how people interact. And it's also not over the top and funny enough that it has any kind of impact on me.
Yeah.
It is just like this script was written by an alien who watched a bunch of John Carpenter movies and then tried to learn how to create witty, you know, tried to his best to create witty banter between characters.
One of the best examples of that, because I do remember one specific one that really stuck with me. Charlotte Kirk's character has this locket, which is the locket is such a fucking stupid character device that the screenplay has for her character, where it's like, how do we make you give a shit about the lead of the movie? She has a locket that has a picture of her and her kid in it. It's like, it is the most like, you didn't even think about this at all.
I also like that we are not 3 minutes into this movie, and the inciting incident of her, you know, she gets shot down in Afghanistan, or her plane starts to tumble to earth, and we have to do a flashback scene to her in her child's bedroom before she leaves.
Oh man,
that's like 30 seconds, and then cut back
to
watch the rest of the crash.
Yeah, so that you can see the kid who is in the locket, right? And we get confirmation this kid is alive. He's at home. We saw her get up and leave. It's also funny that when she wakes up in the morning, when we do that cutaway thing, there's a picture on her nightstand that is Charlotte Kirk, Neil Marshall, and the kid.
He's also at the end of he's in the end of the movie.
Yeah.
He gives himself 2 cameos in his own movie.
Yeah. Him at the him at the end of the movie, I'm gonna get back to what I was saying, but him at the end of the movie also really slayed me because, like, since I had seen it before, I remembered that he was one of the, like, Black Ops guys that comes in at the end, and it is really funny because one of them is, like, a regular Black Ops looking guy, and then one of them's a little pudgy.
It's just the doughy fat one. Yeah.
And I was like, man, this is a fucking ballsy move for your director's cameo to be like, I'm the special forces cleanup guy, and I'm gonna put myself next to this like jacked male model, and you won't be able to tell who doesn't belong in this scene. But yeah, so like the locket thing, yeah. So she like loses the locket at one point when like the Americans find her, and it's because Lafayette stole it, because Lafayette, her one character trait is that she's a kleptomaniac.
Yeah.
Because Neil Marshall is the king of giving all of the characters exactly one thing, and that's like their whole personality.
Right. We get a one line backstory for each of the characters,
much
and
like
we
Centurion.
move on before they all die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Lafayette has stolen the locket, and like Charlotte Kirk like confronts her about it and gets it back, and like causes a big scene, and then like the main American soldier guy is talking to her about it, and the line is so crazy because like after she has like made this big scene and gets this locket back, he says, "So I'm guessing you didn't find that in a Cracker Jack box." And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you want to take another pass at that?
Yeah.
It's so insane. And just like the whole movie's written like that. Yeah.
It's kind of bizarre. And again, I was like, is this just am I just too numb to this kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or is like someone else, if I show this movie to a normal person, how would they react to it?
Yeah, I truly don't know. Like, I find this movie very watchable. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I can sit through the Lair easy. And there's a lot to critique about this movie, but ultimately I find that it goes down pretty easy. I'm just like, yeah, it's just a fucking really, really stupid action movie.
Yeah. And it's wild because we mentioned Paul W.S. We mentioned like Neil Marshall's director jail. Like there was another thing that I was thinking of in terms of like if I could, summarize this movie in a few short words. This is Neil Marshall's Ghosts of Mars.
Okay, yeah.
And I would rather watch this than John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars.
Yeah, I mean I haven't seen Ghosts of Mars, so I can't opine, but
I mean both of these are like the director's kind of remaking their own movie. This is sort of him going back to like the Dog Soldiers well.
Yeah.
Doing it in a way that's dumber, more schlocky, and less with like less good.
Yeah.
With a bunch of characters that he's sort of trying to force chemistry between in a way that in the previous movie just kind of happened naturally.
Right. Yeah. And the crew in Dog Soldiers, it's like you're like so ingratiated to those guys like so fast.
Yeah.
And in this, it's like everybody seems like they're like a robot. Like nobody seems. And part of that is because the actors in this movie, across the board, are quite bad.
I mean, the accents are bad.
Yeah.
I was sort of like, I think most of these people aren't half bad. I think they're okay. I think it's the script.
Yeah,
and
the script isn't doing them any favors.
And a big problem that this movie has is Neil Marshall does us the gift of casting his gorgeous wife in this movie.
Yeah.
And allowing us to look at her body in tight clothing for 90 minutes.
Yes.
But she doesn't have much to do.
No.
She's kind of a forgettable protagonist.
Yeah.
And doesn't have a lot of stakes in the movie.
Yeah, she doesn't really drive the plot.
Yeah, like once we get past the first 20 minutes where she explores the titular lair.
Yeah.
It's really a bunker.
Yeah.
Once she meets up with the soldiers at the outpost, she kind of fades into the background.
Right. It kind of becomes like the main GI guys and like eye patch majors movie. Finch. It kind of becomes their movie for a little bit. you
Yeah, yeah.
know? That main American soldier guy, gun to my head, I could not tell you not only his name but anything about his character.
The one guy who's just like nice.
Yeah.
And they have to go back for him in the bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like a good guy.
Right.
He's nice.
He's Joe America. Yeah.
He's like, let me introduce you to the rest of the washouts.
He's the player character from a Call of Duty game.
Oh yeah.
Like
the one that they get, Lance Henriksen or someone to yell at.
Yeah,
the whole
exactly.
time.
But yeah, man, that first like 20 minutes when we're exploring the bunker, I forgot how long this movie takes to get going. Like, this movie is only 90 minutes. The first 15 minutes of this movie, truly, nothing happens.
Oh boy, you can hack minutes off of this movie, my friend, and it would be virtually unchanged.
It's crazy because like her jet gets shot down and she retreats into the bunker, into the lair, right? She's being chased by the Taliban. And then like once she's in the bunker, and it's like this cat and mouse thing where they're running into the bunker after her and she's just kind of like running from darkened room to darkened room. I was like, man, this is taking way too long for us to get some of these fucking Resident Evil monsters. Like, it's like, it is crazy how many like laboratory rooms she like breathily like runs through, and you're just like, okay, where is anything?
Yeah,
like, what is gonna happen?
I was like, oh man, 5 minutes into, we're at the lair already. Cool. Okay, so she's gonna hide from the Taliban in this lab,
and we're
gonna get some monsters, and that's the movie. And it's like, oh, we are just kind of walking in darkly lit rooms a lot.
Dicking around for 10 minutes.
We're just walking slowly.
Yeah, burning 10 minutes of screen time while Neil Marshall salivates from behind the camera because he's looking at the woman that he's in love with.
Yeah. Also, I've never been annoyed by subtitles before.
Yes.
And I hate to say that because these are Middle Eastern actors speaking their native language, but I'm like, okay, the subtitles have a specific font, and they kind of appear on screen in like a kind of stylized manner.
We're kind of doing a John Wick thing with the subtitles,
yeah. And none of their dialogue is necessary at all.
No, and the movie chooses to subtitle them versus not subtitle them seemingly at random.
Yeah,
like it doesn't seem to make sense when we're subtitling versus when we're not. And so I'm like, why do it at all then? Because when they do subtitle, it's for things like, you go down the ladder first. And it's like, why did I need to know that he said that when I didn't need to know what the guy was saying like 2 scenes ago?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, where is she?
Yeah.
Go look for her.
I get that they're looking for her. Like, also, I'm not sure that this is all of these actors' native language, because I was looking at some of these last names in the credits, and I was like, I don't know if any of these guys are...
Oh.
Yeah,
I definitely think we have some white guys in turbans in this movie.
Yeah.
I would stake my life on that.
Yeah, there's a couple guys with some pretty like Eastern European, Russian sounding last names that are playing Taliban guys in this movie.
Oh, they shot this in Budapest.
Yeah,
I think?
or Bulgaria. Or something? I don't know.
One of the B ones.
Belarus.
one of the B ones.
Yeah, but this is right. This is Eastern Europe playing Afghanistan. It's not actually yeah. And so I do think some of these guys are like Serbian or whatever. Like
and also the music and the sound mixing in this movie is so loud.
It is.
And it drowns out the dialogue, specifically Charlotte Kirk's dialogue for a lot of the movie, just like based on how she's delivering the lines. That I'm like, okay, it gets to a point where I'm like, okay, there's way too much dialogue in this movie. This is kind of a surprisingly talky movie.
It is surprisingly talky, yeah.
Like, we're really pumping the brakes to have some exposition scenes that we did not need in the movie Lair.
I kind of feel like that is a little bit of a Neil Marshall staple a little bit. Like even in Centurion and Doomsday, there are moments where it's like these action sequences are so fun and so crazy, and then there are moments in both of those movies where we just screech to a halt
That's
to
true.
talk a bunch.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Because the great thing that movie does is it introduces us to our aliens squad.
Yeah.
Our colonial marines, as it were.
Yeah.
That so many movies try to do. Kills them all in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie is Mila Jovovich and a character that does not speak the same language as her.
Great.
And it's she maybe like they talk a little bit. But it is like fucking dead silent for the rest of those 90 minutes.
Awesome.
And I was hoping that's what we were getting in the Lair, because
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we got this dialogue that's subtitled, and I can't fucking hear Charlotte Kirk, and we
Yeah.
have all these guys in this underground bunker and these monsters. Cool. We're ready to go. And then we get to the outpost, and it's like, okay, there's a lot of dialogue that was clearly written after Neil Marshall played like Modern Warfare 3 and is trying his best to approximate military dialogue.
Yeah. A big mistake that this movie makes, I think, is something that you just touched upon with the Monster Hunter comparison, because it's like, this team of dead meats is surviving way too late into this movie.
Oh yeah.
We meet all these people at the base, at like the forward operating base or whatever, and then there's the big monster attack, and a couple of guys get killed off. We should have killed off like 3 or 4 more in that first attack, and like Charlotte Kirk and Joe America and like maybe one other person should have gone into the Lair to finish the job. It is crazy that we're sending like 7 people to the Lair at the end of this movie, because it's like, nah, like we gotta be thinning the herd way earlier. There's just too many people to keep track of. There's too many people to keep giving like bits and little one-liners to. It's like we got to streamline this way earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely felt that. I do feel like the outpost attack is maybe the highlight of the movie for me.
I would agree with that. I think it's probably the best set piece.
And I do feel like afterwards, the movie pumps its brakes a little bit too much before we get to the Lair in the third act.
Yeah.
And then when we get back to the Lair finally, it's not a lair, it's a bunker. I don't know why he called it the Lair. Which is also a bad name.
Yeah.
Lair. The
I hardly know
Lair,
her.
the bunker, none of those are good names.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. Fucking Russian monsters in Afghanistan was taken. I don't know.
I don't know.
Also, oh man, this reminded me of Overlord too, where it's a war. I mean, Overlord has a bigger budget, but it's like war movie with horror elements.
Yeah.
That also takes a little bit too long to get to that third act, and it's like
Yeah.
we're slowing down and talking, and why are we spending so much time in the attic of this farmhouse when there's a Nazi zombie lab just around the corner?
Right. We want to be in the Nazi zombie lab.
I want to be in the Lair. I
Yeah.
want to be in the Nazi zombie lab.
Yeah.
Get
yeah.
us there.
Yeah.
Um,
Man, you are right though. This movie would have been so much better if the setup for the movie, where it's like she gets shot down and gets chased into the Lair by the Taliban guys, if that was just the whole movie. If it was literally just like a cat and mouse thing,
Yeah.
where there's the Taliban guys, there's her, and there's monsters, and we're just figuring out that, and we're like following her, and she's got to survive the Lair.
well, and this
Yeah.
reminded me of. This also reminded me of the Netflix series Love, Death, and Robots. Some of those episodes are because they're all short. They're all shorts.
Yeah.
Some of those do the like war plus horror thing. There's
Yeah.
a few of them even in that first season. There's a couple of them that do that. And I'm like, this is almost like an idea, it's an idea that I want to see in more movies, because I
Yeah.
love war movies, I love horror movies. Putting them together seems fun.
Yeah.
But also there's not quite enough ideas here to sustain a full 90 minutes.
Right.
You pare this down to 30 minutes, and it's
Yeah.
like a pretty sick little short movie.
Right. Yeah. It could be an entry in a horror anthology. We
Yeah.
could do one of these as a VHS segment or
You
something.
can buy something that looks a little bit better than the airsoft guns that they use.
Right.
You don't have to stretch your budget as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, to be fair, a lot of movies, even like big movies, use airsoft guns.
Right. Yeah.
For their prop guns.
They're
but
just not always as obvious.
They're really like, oh, I can see the wear and tear painting that they did on it, and it just looks like someone had a brush.
Yeah.
To do that.
As bad as the guns look in this movie, I do want to give credit where credit is due. This is a low-budget movie. A lot of it looks shitty. I do think there's some decent-looking practical effects in this movie.
Yeah.
And that is a thing that, like, both times I've watched it, when I feel sort of my feelings souring on this movie, it'll hit me with, like, a really good practical gore effect, and I'll be like, fuck it, I'm back in.
The guy who gets his jaw ripped off in the outpost attack,
yes,
is a good one.
The guy who gets his face ripped off in the opening sequence in the Lair, right? When she's like trying to right when she's escaping the Lair,
right? And he's climbing up, and then he just gets
the fucking claw. Like there's a shot of the claw landing on his face, and then it cuts to a reaction shot of her, and then we cut back to the guy, and now he clearly just has the makeup on his face, and the claw rips his face off, and it's
that's
just
good.
like goopy skull underneath. It's so awesome,
and like that's where you can tell that Neil Marshall, hasn't lost the movie lover that's buried deep inside.
Right, he's still
the
got
genre
the juice.
lover.
Yeah.
Which makes it harder to stomach when like he falls back on like bad CG effects and the CG blood squibs and some of the cheapness of the movie where it's like he clearly put effort into some of these practical effects.
Yeah.
Clearly put effort into the monster suits.
Yes.
But it just doesn't all quite come together the way that it used to,
But I do think the place where it does come together the best is that outpost attack. I do think you're right, because it happens at night, so even the bad CGI, which there is some in that sequence, it is more forgivable because it's at night, and it's easier to make cheap CGI look good in low light, right? And I don't know if it's day for night or whatever, but like
there's definitely some day for night.
Yeah.
There's some very obvious day for night in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, I think when she's escaping the bunker, and I'm like, that is sunlight reflecting off of that windshield of that Hummer.
Yeah, the outpost attack, I feel like it's probably also day for night, but it feels a little bit more. It
looks better for sure.
And the outpost attack has a lot of fun moments. There's the moment where like there's a guy who's on the like 50 cal or whatever as the monsters are attacking, and one of them like jumps and just fucking takes this dude's whole head off. And it's literally just like a stump on his shoulders, like shooting a jet of blood or whatever. Like
he still knows how to make an action sequence. He still knows how to put things together and come up with bits and gags and construct things in a way that makes sense, that reminds you of the stuff that he did on Game of Thrones and the stuff that he did in Dog Soldiers and the Descent.
Yes, and this is a thing I think that we talked about on our Centurion episode about Neil Marshall, but I do think it bears repeating because I think it's really true of this movie too. I think Neil Marshall is such a great action director. I think it is probably his biggest strength as a director, and despite the fact that he uses a lot of quick cuts, and this is the thing that I think we talked about before, is like in some movies by worse action directors, there will be a lot of quick cuts in the action sequences, and it will be disorienting, and it takes you out of the movie, and it looks bad, and it looks like they're just like cutting around things because they didn't choreograph it well or because it's cheap, right? And when Neil Marshall employs quick cuts, I feel like it does not feel that way to me. It feels like he uses the quick cutting style very elegantly and in a way where you can still follow the action, and it feels like frantic, like the pace is really breakneck. And crucially, I think as I was watching this movie for the second time, I was like, the thing that I think saves this movie is that Neil Marshall's action directing is so legible, right? You always know where everything is, what is happening, what leads to what. Like, he sets it all up in a way where even when he's cutting around stuff, because of budget constraints or the ability of the actors or whatever, you are never like, what just happened? Like, you always get it. And I think that is like, that's really what sets him apart from like other people making this caliber of movie.
That's an excellent point. Yeah, I mean, Dog Soldiers and The Descent have the frantic quick cuts, but it feels stylistic to me.
Yeah,
as opposed to just something they're leaning on as a crutch, and reminds me of like what Danny Boyle did in 28 Days Later.
Yes.
That style was popular in British horror at the time.
Yeah.
If anything, in The Lair, I think he's dialed back the quick cutting even more.
Yeah.
Like this is very legible action.
Yeah.
And it's much less frantic than the stuff he was doing previously.
Yeah.
But still has that energy to it. He still is able to keep up the intensity and the rhythm of the action, even if overall it's not as compelling or as just exciting as what he was doing back then.
Right.
But I don't feel like I'm bored during the action as much.
Yeah.
And I'm also not lost.
Yeah.
He keeps things pretty clear.
And it's fun every time we see one of these guys in a rubber monster suit throwing somebody across a room.
Yeah.
Which happens enough in this movie that you're like, yeah, that's like a stunt guy in like a big silly rubber monster suit picking someone up and chucking them.
The big poop zombie. They kind of look like turds to me.
Yeah, they kind of look like turds. They look maybe a little bit like they're made out of rocks. They're like, yeah, they kind of have like cracks and stuff. But yeah, they kind of are like purplish brown. Yeah. And the face design is, I think it's like good enough. Like these do look very Resident Evil.
Yeah.
They
as soon as you mentioned that, I was like, oh yeah, they're fucking regenerators from Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, they don't look like very original at all, but I do think it's like the design is like scary enough and it is distinct enough. It's not just like the fucking like nothing blobs that are in like some of those early Marvel movies where it's like there's a horde of aliens and they just look like fucking nothing. Yeah.
It's funny how they are kind of memorable, but despite being like under designed.
Yeah.
Like it's not even like simplest, like the sometimes simple is better. It's like he just kind of scrapped together a monster design.
Yeah.
And the fact that he went through the trouble of making practical rubber suits for people to wear rather than just doing a bunch of CGI blobs somehow makes them memorable.
Yeah, and I like their like big grinning mouths, especially in the night sequence, like at this outpost attack. The like really big grinning mouths full of these like really white teeth really do stand out in the darkness. So they kind of like, when you see them in the darkness, they kind of just look like floating mouths some of the time.
The tentacles are cool, like the tentacles that shoot out of their mouths.
And occasionally, even though those are CGI in a lot of shots, occasionally they look pretty good.
I think they have some practical ones too.
Yes, yeah. And they're like bright pink. And like they just look really gross and slimy and wet.
Yeah.
They have the two tentacles that shoot out kind of the sides of their mouth, and then there's the one that comes out the middle with like the fucking, it's got like a like almost a hand on it. Yeah. That I think that piece of design is pretty cool.
Yeah.
What I wish we got into more, and the movie just kind of introduces it and then forgets that it introduced it, it seems, is that it uses that like hand tentacle thing to like probe Charlotte Kirk's brain.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is going to be something, right? These creatures have some kind of psychic element to them where they can like read your thoughts and shit. And it's like, that's going to be something. And it's like, no, it's not.
Not really.
It never comes back.
They just kind of mention it in one line and move on.
Yeah.
What's when they go down into the bunker at the end?
Yeah.
They find like a screen with one of the monsters on it. And they're like, oh my God, what is that?
I don't think that's a screen. I think that's a window. And I think that behind it is
a
like
big one.
Is a big one.
Because I was like, either it was that or it was like, because they're aliens.
Right.
They're aliens that crash landed in Afghanistan in the 80s, and it's why Russia invaded Afghanistan.
This is, yes.
I was
huge pin in that.
Oh, just a sword sized pin in that.
We're gonna finish David's thought, but just like giant pin in the reason that the Soviets invaded Afghanistan is because an alien spaceship landed.
And the the bomb that was dropped on the. Okay, anyway,
yeah.
I was like, either that's a really big one, or it's like a screen that they're communicating with their home planet with.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't tell.
I think it was a window. I think it's like, I think the Soviet scientists found the crash ship, right? And that is the full-sized alien, right? Like, that's like the big one. It's like, it's very much Alien, right? Where in Ridley Scott's Alien, we go into the crashed alien spaceship, and there's like a really big guy in there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's basically that. It's like that's the big guy in the ship, and they brought him back, and they're using his DNA to make these alien human hybrids.
Okay.
And like I again thought the first time I watched this movie, I was like, oh sick, we're gonna get a giant monster. I've never seen Neil Marshall do a giant monster. Like, this thing's gonna wake up and it's gonna fucking chase them through the lab.
Gonna burst through the bunker and start running around the desert.
Absolutely does not happen.
No.
The shit, we see it one time and then we completely forget that it exists.
And there's not even really that much of a line of dialogue explaining what it is.
They make a big moment about the reveal, and then it's just like, and it doesn't matter.
Which I was like, that's why I wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah.
Oh boy, the fucking
the politics of this movie are insane.
The opening text scroll that explains that the Moab, the mother of all bombs, that was dropped in April 2017 by the first Trump administration, is the bomb that was dropped at the end of the film to destroy the Lair.
Yes.
Okay, Neil. And oh man, and yes, the Russians invaded Afghanistan to fight the alien monsters. You know what?
Not to fight the alien monsters,
or
to use their technology to create alien human hybrids.
Right. That's what the bunker
they were
is.
making communist super soldiers. You see, that's why the Russians invaded Afghanistan. It was to make alien communist super soldiers.
So obviously we're still living in a world that is dealing with the after effects of the Cold War.
Yeah,
and the destruction in Afghanistan. And the creation of the Taliban, like we're living in that.
Yeah,
I can maybe, roll with it if we're gonna use that as like the basic framework of the movie, some basic backstory. Okay, that's fine. But then being like, Donald Trump dropped the bomb on the Lair and killed the monsters.
Yes.
And this is just in the opening scroll. Like it is like they drop a bomb that looks like the mother of all bombs rendered in very bad CGI at the end of the movie.
So bad.
But otherwise it's not very clear that it's just like they tacked this fucking opening scroll on.
Yeah.
Wow. Why did we need to do that?
That's crazy. It is insane. This movie did come out between Trump presidencies, so maybe Neil Marshall was like, the first Trump presidency was like a joke we can reference. We're never going to have to deal with the consequences of that ever again. But also, like, it's insane. The politics of this movie are also so crazy because it's like, the movie's big twist is, that the Russian invasion of Afghanistan during the Cold War was for them to find an alien spaceship, and it was just a smokescreen.
Yeah.
It was all like a false flag or whatever. And simultaneously, this movie treats the American military presence in Afghanistan as totally legitimate. They're the good guys. These are all kind of like lovable. This is a lovable ragtag group of dudes just doing their best, serving their country. These are real patriots. And it's like, we can't be doing both. Like, if the Russians are there because it was a smokescreen for them to get alien technology, you have to explicitly say in the movie that the Americans are doing the same thing. That is the way to make the politics of this movie coherent. And instead they never do. They kind of hinted it. They sort of hint that the Americans know.
Right, because the Black Ops guys at the end, Finch tells the American military about, what Sinclair has been ranting about.
But I feel like it has to be explicit. We have to be saying, like, Bush knew that there were fucking aliens, and that's why all of this shit is
happening. Has to be goofier.
Yeah.
It has to just go a few, like, turn up that dial just a few more notches and make it sillier.
Yeah. And honestly...
Especially because this movie does think that it's cheesy. Like, it is trying... It is doing John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars in that it is trying to be cheesy, campy, and fun, and then sort of failing at that.
Yeah.
But in a way that I think is, done better than Ghosts of Mars. When they do the fucking hero shot before they go into the bunker at the end, where it's like the 5 or 6 of them lined up walking towards the camera.
And the one guy doesn't want to get in the line. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so Neil Marshall knows what movie he's making.
Yeah, or like the moment where like Finch delivers the big, like, we're gonna go get those bastards speech, and then immediately gets killed.
Yeah, it's like we're doing Neil Marshall has seen Deep Blue Sea,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna be like, if you're gonna reference the War on Terror and the Cold War and make a horror influenced war film, you gotta go bigger with it.
Right.
I need, you know what? Fuck it. Osama bin Laden needs to be one of these fucking monsters.
Oh, right. Osama bin Laden's not actually dead. He got turned into
a fucking hybrid.
Oh man, there's a moment that is not that dumb, but is so fucking stupid. Which is when the guy who's like who was with the insurgents, but he's not an insurgent.
Yeah, Rahid, is that his name?
Yes.
I hate that I know all these names in this movie.
He is like, his character is basically...
He's good.
He is good.
He's a good actor, by the way.
I do think he's good. Yeah,
he's one of the ones that's like legitimately good in this movie, even though the writing is kind of failing him.
Yeah. His character is basically like almost textually, this guy's one of the good ones, which just feels very gross and weird. But the moment that is so fucking stupid is at the end when they're in the bunker, because he talks about like his dad. He's like, oh yeah, my family, like the people from my village know about these things that are after us.
Right.
They were like taking people from my village in the night, and at first we thought it was wolves or bears, but then we realized it's these like mutant things. So he's sort of like had some prior experience with them, and then he's like, and then he's like sharpening the knife at one point, and he's like, this was my father's knife, he gave it to me, and like he left and never came back or whatever. And then at the end of the movie they're getting fucking attacked by the monsters in the elevator shaft, and the monster that has grabbed him, he looks at its arm and it is wearing his dad's watch. And that's the moment where he's like realizes that his dad got turned into an alien human hybrid, and it shows a full flashback to his childhood and like his dad with the watch. And I was like, oh my god, this is so fucking dumb. I kind of love that moment because I was like, we are like fully just embracing the dirt stupid screenwriting. Where it's like, oh yeah, my father's watch on this fucking rubber arm. It's so good. Yeah. But it would have been better if it was Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, I mean, he can have a turban and a really big beard and just, pop up and scream like "Death to America" or something like, "Oh, it's Osama!"
You would know that it's him because he would be the tallest one. Really tall guy, Osama bin Laden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's like 6'4" or 6'5". Maybe tall. It was, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Yeah, big guy. He'd be a great alien human hybrid. You put that guy on a basketball team.
You could join the Monstars. In that case,
Alien Osama bin Laden is the latest Monstar.
Yeah, facing off against Lola Bunny
in
and
the next fucking
Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Space Jam, 2001, A Space Jam Odyssey. It's 2001 because that's when 9/11.
That is
9/11.
9/11 did happen in 2001.
Yeah.
That's correct.
It is crazy that the implications of the alternate history of this movie is 9/11 happened because aliens crashed in Afghanistan. When you think about it,
you can draw a line.
yeah,
yeah.
because it's like
And
the
then-
Russians invaded Afghanistan, and then the Americans like trained the Mujahideen and
Right.
gave them weapons, and then like later that group like evolved into the Taliban.
Mhm.
And so it's like, yeah, like basically what this movie is saying is a space alien ship crash landed in Central Asia, and as a result, thousands of people were killed when the World Trade Center was.
Yes, and then Gerard Way started My Chemical Romance,
Right.
and then Stephanie Meyer writes Twilight, and then we get 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes.
We're just adding that onto the tree.
Yes, so, right. An
onto
alien
the
spaceship
Pepe
crash,
Sylvia
and
board.
We get, yes,
Yeah,
50 Shades of Grey.
yeah.
Yeah, and we get Dakota Johnson's beautiful appearance on Hot Ones. One of the best episodes of Hot Ones.
I don't know that I watched it.
So thanks, Space Aliens. It's really fun.
Oh, okay.
She's really funny on Hot Ones.
I don't know, I've fallen out of favor with Hot Ones a little bit, just because
Yeah.
I don't feel like the guests have been all that interesting,
Yeah.
and also
I also
they've
feel
just
like
been like
Sean Evans is also an easy guy to like, but I feel like equally easy to hate.
he's good in like small doses.
Yeah.
His like he's a good viewer, but his speech patterns and the way he interviews and stuff, like, it's very specific.
Yeah.
And you just have to, like, sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. Also, just like the abundance of Hot Ones as a cultural product at this point,
Yeah.
where it's like not only is there Hot Ones and they have the hot sauces that they're selling that are obviously made by like real hot sauce manufacturers across the country, and like that's great.
Yeah.
But then it's like they have other Hot Ones related shows. They are doing like brand deals where you can get like Hot Ones peanuts. They had like a game show for a while, which was like, you know, like a, I don't know, like a trivia show or something.
Yeah.
Or you eat a hot wing.
Yeah.
And that was just like, okay, like,
We're kind of hitting peak Hot Ones.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
I like this, but at a certain point it starts feeling weird.
There's only so much hot sauce based content that we can realistically come up with.
Yeah.
Eventually it kind of starts feeling try hard.
Yeah.
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 I'd love to see one of the aliens from the Lair on Hot Ones.
Yeah.
Just Sean
yeah.
Evan asking him like a deep question about his past that like took a bunch of research, and he's like, I like the high pitched shriek noises that they make. I think that's a pretty good piece of sound design. Like, instead of just being like guttural growly aliens, they are kind of like screeching like Nazgul for a lot of the movie, and I'm like, that's fun.
I do like that they jump too. That's funny.
Yeah, they got mad hops, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys can jump really high. They got great vertical. Again, great basketball players. We should stack the Monstars with these guys. They could like dunk the basketball with their fucking like tongue tentacle thing. But yeah, I don't know.
Is there anything else to say about this movie?
I don't know. Like,
I figured this might be a quick one.
yeah, there's a couple cool deaths that I just wanted to call out.
Yeah.
Because there's a fun one where the guy, he's like the big meathead guy of the team, the British meathead. He's towards the end, he's the one that doesn't want to get in the lineup. He's got a big wrench because they're like low on weapons.
Oh,
that guy.
Yeah. What's his name? Let me look it up.
He's the British one, because there's like some American badasses and some British badasses, and he's like the big
not the Welsh guy that
No.
sacrifices himself.
no
holding
this
the
guy's
door.
this guy's like the bruiser. That guy's like the fucking
Bromhead.
okay
Bromhead. Yeah, who gets the
Yes.
monster puts its hand through his face.
just straight up sticks its whole hand through his head.
That's pretty cool.
That's a great one, and the effect looks excellent.
Yeah.
And it's like really close up. It's awesome. You already mentioned the jaw one. There's the one where the guy gets his jaw ripped off. I think the jaw rip is CG, but then you see his dead body, and there's like the guy who is like shell shocked trying to put his jaw back on. And Neil Marshall, excellent director that he is capable of being, cuts back to that multiple times in that outpost fight. It's like we get more like outpost mayhem, and then we just cut back to this guy trying to put this dude's jaw back on, and cut back again, and then he like hits you with it like one more time. It's awesome. I also do like Eye Patch's death. It's silly, but it's a fun moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like they're doing the autopsy on the alien, right?
Yeah.
We're doing like a full on like this is just an alien, a scene from the movie Alien.
Oh, I do love how the alien just sits through that autopsy and waits for
Yes.
the perfect moment. Excellent comedic timing.
Yes, and lets his guts get pulled out. Like they cut him open and pull a bunch of his guts out, and he's just laying on that table fully alive. While they're
just
scooping
waiting for the
handfuls
right
of his
moment
guts
to
out.
spring up.
Yeah. Also, really bad idea to just scoop this guy's guts out with your hands and hand them to a dude who doesn't have gloves on. It's Bromhead again, who is like the doctor's like assistant in this autopsy, and he's like pulling out intestines and just handing to them, and he's just taking them in his bare hands. It's like this thing could have acid blood. You don't know, like, but yeah. So this like alien is like sitting on the autopsy table. Eye Patch gives this big speech where he's like, we're going to go get him. And then, yeah, like great timing from the alien. He just like pops up and is like, wah! And we get a little fight here and then Eye Patch pulls the pin out of a grenade. And we don't really get a good look at it, but I think what he does is shoves the live grenade into the open chest cavity that they were using to pull the organs out and blows the alien up from the inside. So he like it explodes into a bunch of like practical goop that like coats all of the people in the tent.
Yeah.
And then Eye Patch has a hilarious death line, which is like, he's like, how was that for a voluntary discharge? And then just kind of turns his head to the side, and he basically might as well go, because he just dies.
Actually, that was a good line.
Yeah.
That was a good line.
Yeah.
That's maybe like the one that got me.
Yeah.
I also think that like Bunker looks pretty good for the most part.
It's not a bad location. I think the light in there, because there's like some rooms that are green and some rooms that are red and stuff.
The
it's
tank room looks good, where
where
there's a bunch of the monsters in the tanks, and there's like you get a green backlighting from them, so you just get their silhouettes.
Yeah.
And they're floating in this like liquid. Whatever warehouse they shot the bunker in.
Yeah,
like, they did a decent job with that.
I think it looks pretty good. There's also like a bunch of just like mummies in this bunker, which is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the beginning when she's looking around, one of the early scares is just there's like a mummified corpse. Just a bunch of presumably Soviet guys who got left behind here when there was a monster attack or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
give me the prequel. I would love a prequel.
I was thinking about this too, because
give me a bunch of Russian dudes fighting these guys.
Yeah, and you know what I was thinking about? They made that the Thing prequel.
Yeah.
That people hated. Where it's like, oh, this is the story of the Norwegians who found the alien ship, and it's like that was a bad move for the Thing, because the Thing is an iconic classic piece of cinema, and trying to make a prequel to it is a bad idea. The Lair, though, ripe for a prequel. You can only match this or improve upon it. I feel like you can't do much worse.
How are they containing the big one? What's the big one doing?
Yeah.
How'd they get the big one in the bunker?
How'd they get the big one in the bunker? The Lair : how'd they get the big one in the bunker?
Are they drawing straws to feed it? It's like
the
like
Lair
how they
begins. The Lair origins.
The Lair 2. Have you seen The Descent 2?
No. I imagine it's really bad.
I haven't seen it either.
I
don't know if he wrote it, but he did.
He produced it or something. Yeah. I should watch it, even though it's probably dog shit. Just because clearly I will watch anything. I think a prequel to this, where it's like those guys in the fucking Chernobyl suits that we see in like the flashback.
Oh, I love the flashback.
Yeah,
the flashback's too short.
Yeah, we get a shot of the big alien ship, and it looks kind of cool.
It's like a model.
Yeah,
I think they made a model for the big ship.
Yeah,
and I also like that there's like a filter on the flashback, so it looks like it's like the 50s or footage or whatever. That's fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish that like some of the stuff with all of the like Soviet fucking alien human hybrid program was also just like a little bit more explored in this. Like, as much as I love that this movie is kind of dumb and brainless and doesn't like waste its time on a bunch of minutia, it's like instead of some of these talky scenes about whatever the top brass at the Pentagon are saying to Eye Patch or whatever, I kind of just want to know more about like the sci-fi shit in this movie. It feels like we're more fixated on like military shit and less on the sci-fi shit. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's mostly what I plan to talk about. Lafayette's face gets eaten off. That CGI effect looks really bad. But then
that was disappointing.
Yeah, but then we cut to her practical corpse and it looks good because Neil Marshall is great at splitting the difference. It's also it is funny. I think it's like a fun way that he ratchets up the tension in the third act, that it's like they're all getting attacked in the bunker, and then the one guy who they left topside, which is the doctor guy in the Humvee, just gets attacked by a bunch of Taliban guys.
Yeah.
So it's like he's having the fight with like 6 Taliban dudes while they're all getting attacked by aliens, and then they're in the fucking elevator being like, pull us up, and like a guy is like actively trying to stab him.
I thought once the Humvee went down the elevator shaft,
Yeah.
I thought Neil Marshall was gonna kill everyone, and I was like, because
he did that in The Descent.
Because that would have been awesome.
It would have been cool.
And like that's one of the things that I like about, or not that I like about, but like one of the Ghosts of Mars comparisons where it's like the third act happens and basically everyone dies. For no reason. Because they go back and it's like kind of silly and stupid. But like maybe one of the things that makes that movie one of the more memorable aspects of that movie.
Yeah. But Neil Marshall's not going to kill
we
his
got,
darling
we got
wife in a
we
movie.
got 3 people fucking in that Jeep at the end of this movie, and that's too many.
It's pretty inexcusable. I think that a better version of this movie would only have Charlotte Kirk walking away at the end of this movie. And Joe America and the doctor dude would be fucking toast.
Yeah.
Joe America should have sacrificed himself. The Welsh guy does it instead. But it like Joe America kind of has a second moment where he's like, I'll wait here and everybody else go on or whatever.
Yeah, they can have a moment like in Aliens where they share each other's first names because there's a little bit of tension between them, but they don't really get together.
Yeah, but it's like that guy should have had his throat ripped out.
Yeah, he should be fucking dead.
These aliens should be fucking throwing his head around like a volleyball. And instead
like a basketball.
Right. And instead
pass it to Osama.
Yeah. Just takes a big bite out of it like it's an apple. But and it's crazy that Dr. Guy is still alive. Like for what and for why? Like why does this dude not get killed?
I don't know.
But instead at the end of the movie they just have a little gag where like they can't get the Humvee started or whatever, and it's like we're ending on a joke because we don't know how else to end this movie. Yeah. That's the Lair, I think.
I guess, man. That's fucking Neil Marshall's The Lair.
Yeah.
Justice is The Lair the greatest movie ever made?
David, absolutely not. No. This is not the worst. It's not even I feel like it's not even among like the 5 or 10 worst movies that we've covered on the. Well, I would have to think about 10. This is not a bad movie that I don't like. It's a bad movie that I enjoyed watching. Like I said earlier, it went down fine. I actually kind of think, and this is maybe the craziest thing that I'm going to say about this movie, I kind of think I liked it more the second time.
Wow.
which is crazy because it's like this is not a movie that you would expect that to be true of, but like I don't know. It's also a movie where after I watched it the first time, I forgot almost everything about it. It is very forgettable. So watching it for the second time was sort of like watching it for the first time again. Because I was like, I don't remember shit about this movie, you know? Yeah, I mean, I think like the performances are mostly bad. The script is pretty atrocious. It looks bad a lot of the time. It's also like, other than when we're in the bunker, this movie has a lot of color issues where everything is just like really drab and washed out and kind of gray and brown. There's like a shitty like fucking dirt brown filter over a lot of the stuff to make it look more like Afghanistan because we're in like Belarus or whatever. But there's just enough here. Like there is just enough guys in rubber monster suits doing stunts and just enough like practical gore, and the bad writing is bad in like a funny way, just enough. I do think this does achieve camp. I think it's just like it's a bad campy movie that you can sort of enjoy. on like you can sort of enjoy on an ironic level, and you can also sort of admire some of the actual work that went into it. But like, yeah, it's like this is like on the same level as some like later entries in horror franchises. Like this is about as good as like a Friday the 13th sequel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and so it's like, no, it's not the greatest movie ever made, but like I enjoyed myself. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
This is junk food, you know? David, is The Lair the greatest movie ever made?
Justice, if this movie's junk food, it is, store brand, stale junk food.
Yeah, this is
that's
like
at the bottom of the shelf.
it's like Jack in the Box
hiding
tacos.
in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is not the greatest movie ever made. I expected that going in, and I was not disappointed. So like it's Neil Marshall doing a bad movie.
Yeah.
But with full creative control, and so in that respect, there's some aspects of this movie that are kind of good. I think the action is well directed. I think some of those flourishes, like we didn't mention the score.
Oh yeah,
I think the synth score is pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Not necessarily memorable, but does
it's serviceable.
It replicates an 80s Carpenter score about as well as most other movies that try to do that. So, action's good. Score's good. Some of the campy monster designs and some of the silliness of this thing. It's all it's fine. I don't know that it's ever like a so bad it's good, but if Alien versus Predator was on Tubi, and you and your buddy have had like 9 or 10 beers.
Yeah.
And this thing auto plays after it, you could do worse.
Oh yeah. It's also a great movie to watch, like if you're a little high and you want to throw something on, and you're just like, I'm stoned enough that I'm not really gonna remember this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I don't know if we're just like used to watching bad movies, but this is very watchable.
Yeah.
It is not necessarily memorable. You're not going to be able to pick it out of a lineup among all of the other shit that's on Tubi or Shudder that has a knockoff xenomorph on the the cover image.
Yeah.
But you could do a lot worse.
Yep.
And I'm maybe a little bit more interested in watching Neil Marshall's other recent output that he's done with his hot wife. Partially because I would love to see more of that hot wife, and partially because this movie was not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not a good movie. But again, you could do a lot worse.
Yeah. I said that this was the worst Neil Marshall movie. Do you agree with that?
Of the ones that I've seen, yes.
Yeah.
Easily.
Or
Easily.
yeah.
I think all of the movies that we've I think Dog Soldiers and The Descent are legitimately good.
I completely
think
agree with that.
I think The Descent is one of the scariest horror movies ever made.
Yes. I think The Descent is a truly excellent film, and I think Dog Soldiers is so much fun.
Yeah.
Like just one of the most fun movies to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm not scared by a lot of horror movies, and I think The Descent is one of the few that actually achieves scaring me.
Yeah.
And then I really like Doomsday. I think Doomsday is just a big old bag of popcorn and
it's
candy.
A fun movie.
I think Centurion. I don't love Centurion, but I had a great time with Centurion.
You know what I was thinking about is I think one of the weaknesses of this movie, I think Neil Marshall does better because action is one of his strengths. And I think he directs action better when there's no guns involved. Because The Descent and Centurion, there's no guns at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the action sequences in those movies are better than they are in this. And in Doomsday, there's some guns, but there's also a lot of like hand-to-hand and swords and shit in that movie.
Doomsday's changing gears every 20 minutes.
Yeah, and Dog Soldier's a lot of close quarters shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is shooting in that movie, but there's also a lot of like fisticuffs and shit. And I think all of those movies are better because they're less reliant on like we're shooting a bunch of fucking AKs at each other, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the guns did not impress me in this movie.
Yeah.
I think like he could have done. I think like the stuff they do in Dog Soldiers is probably better. I've only seen that one once.
Yeah.
And yeah, Doomsday has some guns. I think the gun stuff is probably my least favorite stuff in Doomsday.
Yeah.
When it
Certainly less good than the gladiator fight.
when it goes like when it decides to become Mad Max for a little while and then decides to become Excalibur for a little while, that's much more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Neil Marshall's The Lair.
Yeah. David, what are we talking about next week?
Well, it's the end of April.
Yep.
And that can only mean two things. One, we're watching an Alien movie, and two, I get to stop the podcast dead in its tracks for 5 minutes to do an HR Giger bit. We are watching David Fincher's directorial debut, the divisive, infamous Alien 3.
Alien Cubed.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the title. Unfortunately, that is the title.
Which is, mathematically, alien times alien times alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So join us on the prison planet of Fury 131.
That is
with
crazy that you pulled that right off the dome.
Ripley and Charles Dance and Charles S. Dutton and the corpses of the remaining characters from Aliens.
It is going to be so fun to go from this movie to a movie with actual actors in it. Whose names I know and who I've seen in other things.
But maybe I will like it worse than this movie. So we'll see.
Okay. All right.
We'll see. This will be I've tangoed with Alien 3 many a time.
Yeah.
And it's been a few years since we last embraced and danced on a moonlit night together.
Yeah.
And shared a kiss. So I'm going to be snuggling up to Fincher next week to talk about Alien 3.
Yeah.
In the meantime, please leave us a like and a comment and share the podcast with your friends.
Yes, if you have a thing to recommend to us, send us an email, thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com.
Or leave us a comment on our Instagram at TGMEM_podcast.
Yes. You can also do the thing where you comment on the Spotify episodes. I know one of our listeners, Anna, does that a lot, and we see those comments and we appreciate them. So, you can always interact with us in that way.
Yeah, interact with us in some
I'm pretty
way.
sure that the algorithm likes it when you do that.
Yeah,
too.
leave us a review.
Yeah.
We haven't had one of those in a while, I don't think.
No, yeah.
Please, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Sorry. And it's another night record, guys. And this movie was bad. And I just want to get out of here. So fucking deuces. See you guys next week for Alien 3. And as always, later dipshits.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Greatest Movie Ever Made. Please remember to leave us a rating and a review, and to subscribe to the show wherever you listen. We appreciate you supporting the show and spreading the word. Tell your friends to listen, tell your enemies to listen, tell your mom to listen. If your neighbor has an unsecured Bluetooth speaker, connect to it and play an episode. You can follow us on social media at TGMEM_podcast. And if you've got a movie that you want us to talk about, send us an email at thegreatestmoviepodcast@gmail.com.